The fact that he thought he could just kind of like buy you out of the podcast for, by the way, a low price. I was
a fire sale.
Yeah, like seriously.
Yeah.
I was like, oh no, that's not nice. You don't do that. What are you thinking in that moment?
I was just like, how tone deaf can you be?
Yeah.
Right. I was like, I don't like the podcast is like the furthest thing from my mind right now. Right. Like in my mind, I'm like, all right, man, Craig and I are fighting, we're just going to take off, some time and, this and that. And then for him to kind of come and start talking about, buying me out. I'm like, what are you buying me out of, Craig? Like all that you have to do is like stop doing the podcast, and then you don't have to buy me out anything. Like you just make another podcast and call it Craig's show. I don't know.
Right, because what you're going to take the name.
What are you going to do with pillows and beer? Like there's no
taking the name pillows and beer.
It just becomes pillows.
Exactly.
But
that's
so it just didn't
lonely,
make sense to me, right? Because I was like,
just go do a new show.
Just go do another show.
Yeah. Like that.
I think it was dramatic.
Yeah,
and it was unnecessary.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, add $70K to that, and let's get up to 6, and then okay. then fine.
Let's go to the
And
table.
then you're
here,
like,
Craig.
I'm basically
let's
stealing money from you because we could have just ended this
Right, 'cause
show
we
and you
could've
could have
just
just
ended
started
this.
your new show
But,
and I
okay,
wouldn't have
fine.
asked for a dime.
I'll take like $100K, I guess. Like,
right.
I mean, but yeah, it was silly, and it kind of like proved my point even more.
Yeah.
Right? Where I'm like, money.
Yeah.
Dollar signs. Right. And it's good to be focused, right? But like, it all goes back to balance, and it pains me that, but like I knew this, right? I was talking to Shep when we were filming, and I was like, dude, just get ready for Craig's fans to be like, you're just jealous. I'm like, you're missing the point. You're totally just missing the point of what I'm saying. It's not jealousy. I've always been an advocate for Craig. I view Craig as a peer, whereas like Shep and Whitney, have always been older, and they look down and make fun of them, and but I've always been like a supporter of that, and that's just like not the direction that I even like was considering, like trying to put down Craig to make myself feel better.
Yeah, and you have to, and I think people have to take the reality TV show aspect out of it and just think about you guys as friends in real life. Like if fans are watching the show and they put themselves in your position and they think about, what if my best friend started cutting me off and didn't want to see me, and maybe they had concern, like, okay, say Craig's concern with you is about partying and he doesn't want to do that. Well, then I wish my friend would just tell me, hey, I'm not into the partying scene anymore, but would love to do something else with you. Like, just look at it from that angle rather than
the problem was it seemed like he didn't want to do other things.
Yeah.
Okay. So
did you
I
ever
almost
think
did
about
like
the
a
fact that
crowd
he
working
just
thing, last night, right? Like I watched Robin's off. I'm like, who here, is here with one of their friends, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the crowd's like, woo me. Who here like is married and might have like a baby like at home that they're like, yes, man, mom's night out,
Mm-hmm.
and people are like, yeah, woo woo, and I'm like, yeah, Craig doesn't do that.
Yeah.
He doesn't do that.
Do you ever think to yourself, and this is kind of sad, like I don't even want to ask this, but like when it feels like he doesn't even want to do any of those things, are you like, damn, does he just like not like me as a person?
My girl,
yes.
This happened when we filmed, and I said it to him. And I was like, I mean, Craig, you're making me feel like a 6th grader here. And I'm like, do you like me anymore?
Yeah.
And I was like, I have to say this.
Right.
And I said, do you not want to hang out with me anymore? And he looked at me like I had 3 heads. He was like, are you insane? Like, why would you even say, And I was like, okay, then what the fuck is it?
Right, because you're getting the feeling, you're
Right?
like, I feel like you don't like me as a person. And if you don't like me as a person, then tell me, and then cool, I won't try to hang out with you anymore.
Bingo.
Then I can have the answer, and then I won't even try.
And I guess that they didn't play it, right? But like I said that to Craig.